Drink, the cause and the solution to all of life's problems. Homer J. Simpson. This is my first memory of drinking. I was about 14 at the time. I was at my friend's house and asked to go in the front room to fetch something. The front room in their house was always kept for special occasions and visits from the priest. And of course, whenever the priest came over, he would always be offered a glass of sherry. By the time he'd made 10 house calls, he would call it a day and wobble back to the vicarage. Now that particular room had one of those marvellous 70s drinks cabinets, fully stocked and ready for priestly visits. I found myself alone in that room, and something about the untouched bottle of sherry caught my eye. It was as if destiny whispered in my ear, "Hey, why don't you and that sherry get to know each other a little better?" Curiosity got the better of me, and with a quick look around, I grabbed the bottle, unscrewed the top, and started drinking straight from the bottle. As the foul-tasting sherry made its way down my throat, I heard a voice, far too late, to get the bottle back in the cabinet, saying, "I think it's in here." As the door opened, my friend's mother walked into the room. There I was, frozen in time, with the bottle of sherry pressed against my lips. Our eyes met, and she looked mortified. I couldn't move, caught in the act like a deer in the headlights. All I remember is her slowly backing out of the room, shutting the door behind her, and never speaking of our little encounter ever again. Needless to say, I don't think I was the most welcome guest in the house after that. That was my first embarrassing moment with the joys of drinking. Now let's not assume that all drinking is a road to ruin. The vast majority of people have a happy and healthy relationship with drink, but for some, like me, it became a different story. Let's call it the thirst. It didn't start out that way. It was more like a slow build-up over many years. In the beginning, it was all fun and games. Then, one day, a friend says, "You were on form the other night," and you're left wondering what the hell they're talking about. Dread settles in as fragments of the previous night start to creep back into your memory like a horrible, broken dream. You hope it wasn't too terrible what they're talking about, but you can never be sure. Time passes. These incidents don't happen all the time, just occasionally. Now and again, someone will say, "Oh, remember when you did that?" It's a strange feeling when someone says that. It's like being punched in the stomach while pretending to find something funny. You really don't know what they're talking about, or you do, and you remember how awful it was. Most of the time, other than the occasional hangover, things go well. Drinking is a great way to meet people, make friends and have a laugh. Just taking away the right amount of inhibition. The good times at this stage outweigh the bad times. People throughout history have sought to alter their consciousness in various ways. Prohibition was introduced into America in the 20s to stop people drinking. Good luck with that. Let's face it, I don't think half of us would have been born if it wasn't for drink. This is my story of my life of drinking, which isn't all funny stories, quite the opposite at times. What I can say is I'll try and make the story funny while being realistic and honest. So, see you next time.